a special teams standpoint, that game went about as well as you could hope? Did you see it that way, or as a coach, are you always going to see stuff that, okay, I want to get this fixed, and I can't ever think of it in those terms?
Yeah, it's probably been a while since I've said this, but there's players who consistently ask me, are you ever happy after a game? And in order for that to happen, number one, you got to win. Okay? And then there's 6 phases that all have to do well. There's definitely stuff to clean up. We had some things go on in the return game, like to be better there. But, by and large, I thought overall more good than bad.
So were you happy after the game?
I didn't think we were 6 for 6 there on all the plays. But, you're always happy to win. But it's a quick turnaround, and got to get some things fixed in a hurry.
Hunters don't get a lot of love. Blake, he seemed to have a really big impact on the game. What you see?
Yeah, 4 punts inside the 20. A couple at around the 10 fair catches or whatever, and then we had the one downed in there tight. Blake has given those guys a chance to make plays, and we didn't come up with one in Green Bay as point of emphasis for us last week, and the guys are really working hard on those things. It's the job description of the punter is what it is, but he's also a pretty good holder, and so any way that he can contribute, he's done a good job with.
What's the most impressive part about Chad? Basically being on the couch for a month, coming in here, and then kicking 2 game winners in 3 weeks.
Well, he's been productive when he's had a chance, and I think when guys go to new places, it's kind of slate's clean, and you make the most of your opportunity. He's done that, and he's kicked off well. He's hit and made kicks. Obviously, a couple high-profile pressure-type kicks, but the talent has always been there, and it's good to see him have success. He works hard during the week.
Did you even talk about the past with him when he arrived here? Did you need to sort of clear that slate, have that conversation with him?
The only thing I told him was that I evaluated him coming out, and you see the results from a year ago. The first time I had seen him since the college stuff was the day he worked out for us, and he was really good in that workout. And then in practice that week, I think he worked. Once we signed him, he had worked out in Green Bay on Tuesday, so he didn't kick on Wednesday. He was really good on Thursday, and then pregame in San Fran was really impressive. So, he's been good with all the chances that we've given him, and expect that to continue.
What do you like about him coming out?
Explosive leg, history making kicks. Sam was with him when he was at Eastern Michigan, so we had some personal background with him as well, just the type of person he was. And you just start connecting the dots, and he had a lot of things going for him.
You mentioned Blake being a good holder. How much work was there when Chad came in? Obviously, just getting with him and knowing what he likes, where the ball is, and all that. All that practice that had to be done.
Yeah, it's a process. Those guys, all 3, have to be on the same page. The snappers are different in terms of their tempo, the way the holder is kind of positioned. Guys are a little bit different. Some guys tuck their toe behind. Some guys are flat. Some guys are kind of an open stance where a lot of action towards snapper. Some guys are a little bit closed, so the sight line of the kicker is a little bit different. None of that stuff really matters. It's just those guys have to see and work with each other. The thing that matters is once the ball's on the ground, what does it look like to the kicker? And that's the thing that is different from guy to guy.
Go ahead. You mentioned the high pressure kicks. He told us after his automatic, he was calm. He knew he had it the whole time. With him being new to the team, how calm and confident are you in those situations with a new kicker?
Yeah, for me, I'm not thinking about just the kicker. I'm thinking about all the people blocking for him. I'm thinking about the play clock. I'm thinking about the situation in the game. There's a lot of things going on in my head in a short period of time. We have confidence in him. That's in that situation where you're trailing and we decide to sit on the ball and hit the kick. That's not by accident. The head coach had trust in him and had trust in that group, and it's good to see.
On that play, the Chargers tried the jumping over the line that we've been seeing more and more. How do you stop that?
Without getting into too specific, what we're trying to do there. The jumping thing has been around. The interpretation by the officials has changed over time on what they'll allow and what they won't allow. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, that as a defense, they can push you, they can't pull you. Sometimes by personnel, that particular player hasn't lined up in that gap. Last year they did that with Derwin James, so that was something that we had gone over. But you're looking at body types. A couple weeks ago, Myles Garrett jumped over. Like, that's a different body type in there than a corner. So there's different things you can do, and then there's the one that you know's probably coming. It was something we talked about on the sideline, but most of the linemen are out there on the field, so we're relaying to those guys, hey, this is something that we talked about. But it's something that's become more and more viral. Guys have success with a certain technique around the league, regardless of what it is. You're going to start seeing it. So even though that team hadn't done it this year, was something that we had prepared for.
How much did you know about Blake when he came in last year, and like previously about it? He seems really have settled into a very consistent group.
I didn't have much exposure to him prior to him getting in the league. I think his draft class was the COVID year. So, like exposures to guys that year, college workouts and things like that didn't happen. He went to New Orleans, and I think he was on IR for the first year. And then he obviously punted, and he punted against us in the Thursday night game 2 years ago. And once a guy is kicked in the league, you kind of know where guys are at. And some of the punting battles that go on, you have your evaluation. But in terms of like personal information on guys, you're really relying on your personnel department to have information from the college scouts.